Yeah, man, I love it. Coming in hot.
What's
Looking good
happening,
too.
man? What's going
Man,
on today?
very excited to be talking to you, the man, the myth, the legend, Jon Batiste, the ego, soon to be
Oh,
EGOT. I can feel it.
hey, man, look, I'm just doing my thing.
Well, no one can say you're doing that wrong, and you do it very well, sir.
Thank you. I love it, man. I love sharing the music with the people, man.
Awesome. Well, we're here at 88.5 the SoCal Sound. Going to ask you a few questions about the latest record, World Music Radio, #1 on Amazon for CDs and vinyl, streaming platforms everywhere. Off the 5 Grammys of We Are, some amazing collaborations. We're going to get into all of them today.
Man, let's go ahead with it. I love making this one. This one has got some vibes.
So I always look at an artist like you, like Michael Jackson. You can't make Thriller too, right? So after We Are, where was the pivot for you with this new record?
Man, I had so much change in my life when I started to work on this record. It just felt like a new season. So it didn't even feel like I had to think of We Are, try to measure any metric in that way. I always kind of go into these spaces where the season dictates what I'm making. And the pressure really comes from living up to what that season has delivered me. And it's really it's an artistic Mount Everest to climb every single time, man, because you get to this point, you have a vision and you're like, really? Is that what I have to make? Because you have to follow the vision. And I get these epiphany moments and it's like, oh my goodness. I remember when I was doing We Are, I was working on the soul score at the same time. And then when I was doing World Music Radio, I was also writing and premiering my first symphony. And, you know, you think about these projects and they sound disparate and different, but they're related. I need to have a brother and sister thing on an axis. It's like these axes that help me to kind of balance the season that I'm in. So to be honest, there was no outside pressure. It was mostly internal pressure from me wanting to live up to the creative vision that I had.
Of course, of course. And you're living up to a musical legacy of your family being such a huge institution in New Orleans, 25 deep. I believe you have one of your family members on the record as well. So did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, of course, I love my family as the foundation of everything. My dad is my first musical mentor, and you know he's singing on the song "Call Now," which, by the way, "Call Now" that's a real number people can call and reach out to us. I'll answer. Sometime Billy Bob Bo Bob will answer, but you know, man, I think making World Music Radio was about continuing to expand on my concept of genrelessness, just limitless creativity, and really radical love and radical oneness, which is very disruptive in this current climate we're in the current music industry, genre-based things that we're kind of creating based around. It's very punk. It's very disruptive to kind of try to go into that space. So that was one of the things that was daunting about making this. It was, you know, some people won't understand that. Some people won't get it. Some people will get it and it will be like a breath of fresh air. And there's this kind of, you know, almost the polarization that happens when you make something that's so true to where you are and who you are. And, you know, I expect there's been great success so far, but I also am looking forward to the conversations and the experiences that happen from how it will challenge the system. And, you know, even thinking about, you talked about the Grammys and being nominated in 7 different genres when I was nominated last year. And that being the first time in history, and thinking about, well, what led to that? Why, you know what I mean? Why are we so anyway, my belief is just to continue down this path and take whatever comes with that, the great things, and also whatever the gray area breeds for me. I'm ready.
Awesome. Yeah, and I see that you had done some stuff talking to children and you gave them some uplifting information saying, essentially paraphrase that if you make something with heart, then someone will feel it. Is that what you truly believe, Mr. Batista?
Clear, clear, oh, clear, yay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, my man. We all the way. We just living our life, man. We creating art. We're together. We're people who are expressing what's in our heart and our soul, and we have the privilege to share that with the public. And the public, the people, it's only you who makes me all I am. So I'm just thinking about, wow, what am I required to do? But above anything, is just to make something real and to make something that somebody out there is going to feel, because it's so real for me. I know that when you hear it, it's going to bring you to that place.
And you have some amazing collaborations on the record too. So let's see how that came about. You have Lil Wayne on the record, which I think is an amazing juxtaposition with what you do, the softness, but with your piano playing, with his very strong, sharp-tongued lyrics. Lana Del Rey's on there, Kenny G. So how did that come about?
A lot of the people on the album were people who I wanted to work with, or we wanted to work with each other. And really, we had been meaning to do stuff together, or maybe had done stuff together that hadn't come out, or just as friends. Lil Wayne, growing up in New Orleans, we in the same neighborhood, 3 minutes away from each other, and just knowing a lot of the same people, but never having really gotten a chance to cross paths and create together, and wanting to do it on previous albums, but now coming around, and now we have stuff in the works even beyond the song. But the same thing was with Lana, where socially, a friend of ours had been trying to introduce us for 7 years, who we both know and collaborate with. And then we met socially, and she came by the studio and we're hanging out. And then that led to us making several songs, including 2 that went on her album, and this one that's a bonus track on World Music Radio for my album, and more. Yeah, also, there's always more. I just say that. But anyway, I discovered artists in the process of making this album too. So it wasn't just people who I want to work with, people who wanted to work with me, people who we've worked together, but maybe it hadn't been the right project. And then there was this 4th category of, oh wow, I discovered Rita Paez, who's on the album. She's a Catalonian trombonist and singer. 20 years old, unsigned. I heard her music. I was like, oh, this is amazing. What are we doing? So there's all these incredible things. And then that allowed for me to sing, I could sing Catalonian lyric. I've always wanted to sing in different languages. And, my family, my household, there's 4 languages. So that's just natural for me, but people don't know that. So then there's an opportunity with this album, when you listen to it, to hear even more sides of me. It's like peeling of the onion.
Right. And you have like limitless potential in the record that you're making, and expanding your universe with world music influences, but also classical influences, jazz, etc. So as we start to wrap up, what do you think you would want your legacy, Jon, to be? When it's all said and done, they put you in the pine box, you move to the next musical theater in the sky. What would you want people to remember Jon Batiste for most from this record and beyond?
Love, 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 always love. That's it. That's what when I want to expand the genres, it's out of love. I want you to not be limited. I want people to be liberated when they hear the music. That's just a metaphor for life. This is a way for us to get out of our own way. If you see me and you celebrate me expanding and breaking through all of these barriers and categorizations to not marginalize myself, that's you celebrating and cheering for yourself. That's what it's all about. That's the creative gift. If I can be liberated, if I can be free, and I can reach my highest frequency and resonate at that frequency in public, other people are going to feel that and resonate with that. And that's going to be my legacy. And that's what I would hope.
Well, thank you so much, Jon, for sharing about the new record. Jon Batiste, everyone. This is 88.5 The SoCal Sound with your host, Cliff Beach. And today we're talking about his new, latest, and greatest, but not last, certainly, world music radio that's out here. You can get it on CD, on vinyl, on streaming platforms, and beyond. We're going to be looking into the Grammys in the next couple of years and more stuff. And I want to hear about this Tony and this musical that you want to do on that book. I know you're going to tell us about it one day. I know you got things to come, sir.
Go ahead, Cliff. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jon. We're going to talk again soon. We're going to keep you rocking on radio and beyond, man. Much blessings to you.
Much love. Thank you for the time, man. I'm glad we connected.
Me too, sir. You take care.